welcome to episode 12 of the Prolific Shift Sunday Sit Down. I'm Janae Peters. I am the founder, CEO, all the good things related to Prolific Shifts, which every week I give you the rundown that Prolific Shifts, this part of Prolific Shifts, where there's a video every week with a question and an action item, is for anyone ready for a change and ready to be guided by some questions, action, and intention. And then the main part of Prolific Shifts is a space that's for Black educators and Black leaders to engage in personal and professional development to support our growth and our leadership in ways that these institutions, these environments were not designed to. At Prolific Shifts, our goal is to shift always and in all ways. So here we are with another week of a question and an action item. And last week, we took some time to really get into the question of like what has shifted in your perspective in this past year. That year being, well, we're 2 years into the pandemic, but the time frame I gave last week was 1 year. And then moving on to thinking about what in that was prompted by you or initiated by you and what was initiated by outside forces. And for the things initiated by outside forces, which among those things you wanted to stay in your world and which among those things you wanted to counter. So this week, we're not really in the same vein, but you know, inquiry around the self is all kind of in the same vein. So I feel like I'm kind of saying that every single week. But this week, the question is, what do you give yourself permission to do or to believe? I love this question. And I had not thought about my answer before this, so you'll be getting this in real time. But I love this question for a number of reasons. The first being, I love the reminder of the things that we have control over, for the most part, right? So the things that we can decide, that we give ourselves permission to do, even if it goes against convention, even if it goes against what we have known to be true in a constructive way. And so I love that aspect of this question. I think one way that we might identify where this lives for us is like thinking about the moments where we find ourselves surprised by the way someone has behaved, by someone's action, by someone's response to the bigger happenings in our world, by our responses to conflict, our responses to confrontation and accountability too. I think when we think about those moments, it can give us some insights as to our belief system and our values, like what we run with. And what's interesting about this question to me is that when I think about it, when I think about what I give myself permission to do and believe, I find myself faced with a contradiction in myself, right? So there's a big part of me that is optimistic, like the core of me is so optimistic that I believe in everybody's possibilities, everyone's potential, and I like really believe in folks' ability to do the right thing, which means that I'm also often very disappointed and like gravely disappointed and just like gut level sad when folks don't make the decisions that move us towards the good, or you know, move us even outside of ourselves in positive ways. So that is the thing that like that's the core. But the outer shell of that for me, and I've talked about like that inner shell, outer shell for me, the outer shell for me is a realist and also knows that I will be disappointed. And I think one of the things that my mother did for me as a child was reminded me that people disappoint you, and that you can't, or if you get your hopes up, you get your hopes up with the knowledge of your past experiences with that person and with them as they say that they are to you, not them as you believe them to be. And this is one of my constant struggles in my world, but something that I choose to believe in the good. And I choose to believe in people's as good. And again, it doesn't mean that I'm stupid and that I'm blindsided, but it does mean that I, even in myself, feel able to hold my complexities, the parts of me that are good, the parts of me that struggle, and that struggle to be good, right? And want always to do better. So I think holding those knowledges is really helpful in a lot of ways. So as you think about this question for yourself, this one, I think more than some others, I am super curious to hear from people about what you choose, what you give yourself permission to do or to believe. So I chose the believe part, which is kind of a do for me too, but I am super curious to hear what y'all are thinking about over in the other world or somewhere, wherever y'all are, everywhere you are. Remember, the question is, what do you give yourself permission to do or believe? And then this week's action item is asking us to create a commitment, intention, or action that supports your belief. So plan to engage one commitment, intention, or action per week for the next 4 weeks or so. So when I think about the one I offered, so believing that people are good, one of the things that I'm making this up on the spot, kind of one of the things that I want to do for the next 4 weeks is think about someone who I hold with complexity, like maybe someone I don't have necessarily the best feelings about, and move toward, like, hold them in what I give myself permission to believe, which is in the good of others. And again, I'm not stupid, but taking people who I also see as having some kind of potential and holding them in that goodness that I give myself permission to believe in for others. And I'm going to choose a person, a situation, a place to do that for, and see how I see it. See what happens for me. And yeah, I look forward to hearing what folks are deciding to do, what you're thinking about, or even what kinds of ways you might choose your own thing that's not asking you to do what I've asked, but something that you might do instead. All right, take good care. Always good to connect with y'all in this way. Next week's my birthday. Well, not on Sunday, but it's coming up. So looking forward to that and getting in gear for that. And yeah, just take good care. And until next time, peace. If you liked anything you heard, please don't hesitate to comment, like, subscribe, or support in any of these ways, and especially through your love and care. Peace, and I'll see y'all again soon.